Welcome into Coach and Bro, presented by Afterburn, in theaters, September 19th.
Oh, I'm going to miss Afterburn. I really am. They've been on board with us for a month. In theaters on Friday, my good friend Dave Bautista and Samuel L. Jackson. What's good, everybody? Welcome into the Coach and Bro Show, the fastest growing YouTube wrestling show in America. No, in the world today. Now, we got a ton to talk about. If you missed it on Friday, Wrestlemania 43. Going to that wrestling hotspot. Well, it's very hot there. Saudi Arabia. That and so many more things to talk about. You know, on Monday here, we're on YouTube or social media, so you guys can even be a bigger part of what we're doing. But I don't do this show by myself. I'm the coach side, but I need the bro side. And there he is right there. My man from russosbrand.com, Mr. Vince Russo. Good afternoon, sir.
The bro side of things is always ready for you, Coach. Always ready for you, my friend.
All right, so on Mondays, we're not on Stadium, so we have a little bit of a looser rundown, so to speak. But tell people how they can be a part of the show, and we threw in a little caveat to award somebody every single week a piece of merchandise. So tell the good people how they can be a part of the show.
Yeah, you could become a part of the show. We will bring your comments right up on the screen. Your comments, your opinions, your questions, your suggestions, whatever you have, do it through a super sticker or a donation. Must be over $5 for us to address it. Anything we will bring up on the screen. We will see everything. But if you want us to address it and speak about your thoughts, do that through a super sticker or a donation.
And we're doing a giveaway every single Thursday. So if either on Monday or Thursday you have a super sticker that's $10 or more, your name gets put onto the Wheel of Doom on Thursday. Now, the first person who won has sent us an email, and they live, of course, wouldn't you know it, in Australia. So we got to send the first T-shirt to Australia. We're still setting up the whole payment thing, so we have it all in a document. Producer man's amazing. But our second winner last Thursday has not sent an email in yet with their information. So we'll probably put up the winner again, but if you see your name, we'll put up the thing. You got to email us or we can't send you anything. That's how it works. All right, Vince, we got a lot to get to, so let's start right now. And, of course, the big news, and this is really going to shake the foundation of the wrestling world as we know it, when you take the Super Bowl, when you take your biggest show and you take it to the Middle East, and they announced it on Friday in Las Vegas right before Worlds Collide on a WWE YouTube. And about, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, they posted this video of Hunter, of Shawn Michaels, of The Undertaker. But then the talent they brought in, Vince, they looked miserable to be there. I want your initial take now that it's been confirmed in 2027. If you want to go to Mania, you're going to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, I mean, Coach, here's the first thing that jumped out at me. Since I am a TV writer, and I will always be a TV writer. Man, I could not understand how they had two of their biggest stars at that press conference in Bianca Belair and Liv Morgan, who have not been on television in months. So they are healthy enough to get on a plane and travel to Saudi Arabia, but they're not well enough to be on the television show.
No, the announcement was in Vegas.
Oh, it was? It
was in Vegas.
Even that.
Same thing.
Even that. So they're well enough to get on a plane, fly to Vegas, be a part of that press conference, but they're not. Coach, I'm going to ask you a serious question.
Sure.
There has to be somebody at Netflix or somebody, at Netflix, at a USA Network that asks that same question. There has to be somebody else asking that same question. Why are these women at this press conference, but yet you don't have them on the television show?
You talk about it all the time. And last week, to lead into Worlds Collide, that's exactly what AAA did. They brought Dom up on a video to set up the match for the title that he was going to wrestle in Vegas at Worlds Collide. And it actually worked. The crowd popped when they saw him, and he wasn't even there, wasn't even close to being in Mexico. And when I saw Bianca and Liv Morgan, I thought about you. And I thought about your head exploding off of your shoulders because it is a situation where it'd be very, very easy to continue to use both. We haven't seen Liv in 4 months?
At least.
4 months, at
Yeah.
least. Bianca, I don't know how serious her injury was, but she's been off for a while as well. She was heavily involved with Rhea and Jade and all of that. She's a primetime player. So if she can fly and she can be healthy, why can't she be on the road? You're never going to make me understand that. The math is not mathing. But can we put the picture back up there, Vince? Because I want you to look at all of that talent. This is an announcement for your WrestleMania, the first one outside of North America. Think about that. 42 WrestleManias before we go outside of our continent. And Vince, go down the line. And I know it's a still photo, but Bianca, miserable. Charlotte could care less. Okay. Undertaker, who's that? Liv Morgan, hidden behind him. Is that Stephanie Vacure?
Yes, I believe it is. Yes.
Logan Paul had to fly from Puerto Rico to Vegas.
Well,
and then Seth Rollins is like, what the hell am I doing here? I mean, look at that picture. That's your biggest stars and your biggest show.
Well, Coach, I hold on for a second.
Okay. Oh, yes, the first one of the day.
I may have an explanation for that.
Okay.
Listen, we all know, and this is not a political show, and Coach and I will never get into politics. I never get on politics in Russo's brand ever. But, we had a, very, very, very serious event, that took place last week. Well,
yes.
Supposedly everybody was on high alert at that press conference to the point that Triple H needed extra security. Coach, did you see this picture of the security that just shadowed Triple H everywhere he went? There it is.
Oh my God!
The king of
I thought you were being serious for a second.
I am the king of pops. I'm everywhere Triple H is going, just in case anybody gets any ideas, anybody gets crazy. I'm right there. I got his back. I got my King of Pops shirt on, Coach. You didn't see this picture.
Do you get out of bed in the morning and say to yourself, how could I mess with Trips today? How can I mess with Trips today?
This is all the brand's fault. They send me, I don't even know how to create an AI, Coach. I don't know. They sent me this, and I'm like, okay, I'll pop for that.
You'll pop for that. I always rely on Producer Man because he knows how to do all this stuff.
Yeah.
This is crazy. It's so funny because the video I saw, because the news or the press conference was scheduled right in the middle of my serious show Off the Ropes. And they released a video, and I don't know what they were thinking, but it was Triple H walking down the ramp, and you've been to Thomason or wherever it was. They're walking down the ramp, and then all of a sudden they stop and look. It's like a backstage skit, right? They stop like they're kind of mini shocked at who they're looking at, and then all of a sudden it widens out, and it's the Undertaker, and then the three of them start walking, and it's pretty obvious to me, and we've heard about it the last couple of months, that Taker wants to take on a bigger role within the company creatively. And apparently he's a big part of AAA, as is Shawn Michaels. AAA was in Vegas that night, so it made sense for them to have the announcement there. But it now looks like to me that Trips is putting all of his friends as close to him as possible. Is that to insulate him? Is it to – because he put over Turkey Ali Sheik. They're clearly trying to make him the Dana White of that side of the fence. But to have Shawn Michaels, Road Dogg, Undertaker, who else is a high-level executive there? X-Pac is helping at the Performance Center. Everybody that he's close to now has a role, Vince, within the company in some capacity. Give it to me. Give it to me.
I got to ask this question because I saw the exact video. My mind just works this way. When I see something like that, my mind goes someplace.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw the exact video that you're talking about, Coach.
Okay.
Coach, is it possible that Taker's undercover? Is it possible that Taker still has a loyalty to Vince? And as long as Taker can stay close to Triple H, he is going to know everything that is going on in that company and every move. Because think about it, Coach. Listen, I think it's fair for us to assume there is no relationship between Vince McMahon and Stephanie and Triple H. I think that's fair to assume.
Very fair.
Fair. This is fair to assume. Nobody was more loyal to Taker than Vince. Correct?
Maybe Cena.
Maybe Cena.
Maybe Cena.
When everybody was jumping, Taker did not go anywhere.
Nope.
I believe Taker was at the birthday party.
1,000%.
Coach, do you find this hard to believe that Taker can have a close relationship with both people involved who are on two totally opposite sides of the fence in the wrestling business? This is the wrestling business we're talking about, Coach.
I think that not only is it possible for what you're saying, I think it's probable. And I think Undertaker realizes that there's only a couple of names, Vince, that TKO cannot touch. And I think TKO gets petty. I think that they do a lot of things that are good for themselves, and they're in this bubble that they don't see outside of here. And Undertaker, from what we've been told, $4.5 million a year in his Legends deal. That's gigantic. That is gigantic. And with Stone Cold not showing up, he's the other one that has about $2.5 million for the year. To me, the fact that Taker went to that party, and I don't know why people aren't seeing this as a bigger deal, Vince. If you go to that party, you're an active wrestler or you're a guy involved with the company, I would have some reservations about that. I still think that Cena having that show pulled out of Boston was in retribution to him going to that birthday party. I really believe that. Because what other reason would it be? There isn't one. They had the arena. It was Boston. The last show, it made all the sense in the world. Then all of a sudden, you're going to say, Washington? That's what you're going to go with? They couldn't punish Cena. So how do you punish The Undertaker when he's the legend? He's the WrestleMania god. He's a WrestleMania king. They literally have over there, Vince, a Undertaker exhibit in Saudi Arabia. He's the only one.
Yeah.
So they can't do anything to him. They've already built it. Saudi loves him. So if they're going to get, and I want to hear the number from you. If they're going to get in business this much, Saudis love the legends, and they love Undertaker. They loved Hulk Hogan. They don't give a damn about anything that goes on here in the United States when it comes to drama, whatever Hulk was doing. They don't care, Vince. This is a place where you can make a ton of money if you're the right person, and Undertaker still is. So, of course, he's going to be involved in this, and there's nothing they can do about it.
Yeah. Coach, I have to ask you this, knowing him as well as you do, and we know there's a lot of money involved. I mean, guys, it's, money that you and I cannot even imagine. Do you think on Vince's dime that a WrestleMania would have ever been held outside the United States?
Already been in Toronto, outside of North America.
Yes. Yeah.
Outside of North America.
Yeah.
Eventually, yes. I think TKO, and this is ad nauseum, only cares about one thing. And I believe that this show, it's what they call a bot show. For anybody that doesn't understand that, there's a lot of shows. There's a lot of, like, say, Rihanna. She'll go to Saudi Arabia and do a show for 45 minutes for $5 million. This is the same exact thing. I bet, Vince, that this number is over $400 to $500 million for this one show. They've been getting 10 to 15 per show for, like, the one-offs.
Yeah.
But this one, to take it outside of North America. So to answer your question, no, not maybe in our lifetime. I think he believed that WrestleMania belonged here. I think he believed that every single opening of the show, what do you hear, Vince? Michael Cole say, fans from 60 countries around the world have come here to Las Vegas. They've come here to Dallas. They've come here to Chicago.
Yep.
You might get 5, maybe 10 that are going to go to Saudi Arabia. Whether it's warranted or not, Vince, the reputation is what it is. And no matter how much money they spend on sports, and they've spent a ton on all different sports, we're not there yet. We're not there. If women cannot wrestle in their normal gear, we are not there yet.
Yeah.
If they've only been driving for driving, for 5 years in that country. We are not there yet. And I think that's an issue that's not being talked about.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, Coach. But
Can I throw this out? Can I throw this out? I need your conspiracy theory.
Yeah,
I need the button because I want to get your take on this.
Yes.
I believe that you, my dear sir, a few months ago we were discussing, is this a bigger play that for $15 billion, TKO could wipe away all their debt and they could be in the clear and run ultimately the UFC, which they've been running for before WWE. Do you think this is the first play? Because remember, who hired Nick Khan?
Was it a Vince McMahon?
Because Nick Khan did the Fox deal that who got started? Your boy.
That's right.
So Vince hired Nick Khan, which tells you, even though Nick and Vince at the end didn't really see eye to eye, or so we thought. What if this was a whole big play? Because who did Triple H? I don't know if you saw the entire press conference, but who did he give first billing to for getting this job done to get WrestleMania there?
I didn't see that part, but I would assume Nick Khan.
Boom, Nick Khan. He said Nick Khan was a driving force, and Turkey Al-Sheikh, the Excellency, who did the boxing match the other night, Canelo and Terrence Crawford. So what if this whole thing, the whole thing, has been a 3 to 5 year plan to get Vince done with his thing and get WrestleMania in Saudi? Saudi's happy. They spend $500 million. You sit down and goes, boys, if you can spend $500 million for one show, how about $15 billion for the whole company?
Well,
and now they own it.
And it's not one show because they're going there for the Rumble
this January.
Right? Exactly. Right?
Is that too far fetched?
Absolutely. Well, can we add on to that?
Give it to me.
What about the company Vince McMahon started to buy other businesses? What about Vince McMahon was the one? Vince McMahon was in position when they made the deal with Saudi. So Vince was with the company when that deal went down. So he's got personal relationships there. He's got business relationships there. He set up a company that can make this transaction go fairly easily. They're already there January of 26. Now they're already there in 27. So now we're there at least once a year. Well, let's make it 2 shows, 2 big shows every year. I mean, when you look at where this thing is headed, Coach, we said this months ago, and people looked at us like we were out of our minds. Look how these dominoes are falling into place.
Just like we talked about, just like we've said, almost verbatim here on the Coach and Bro Show. Now, we have more to get into. Let's hit a few super stickers. And then I think I have another pro to this con, so to speak. Let's go to Gamer Guy. Did you guys see Dom win the AAA championship and become double champ? Where can they go with this, and what would you do with it? So he won another championship with AAA on Friday night. So he's the Intercontinental Champion and a AAA champion.
It's not going to go anywhere if they don't put a spotlight on Dom. And I just have a feeling that they're not going to put a spotlight on Dom. Do they put a spotlight on anybody? So unless they make Dominik special, and I'm not just talking about putting 2 belts on him. It's the follow-up. Do they put more television time behind Dominik? I don't think they will. So he's going to be walking around with 2 belts, and that's probably going to be the peak of this angle.
Yeah, AJ Styles, it appears, isn't exactly happy with the final year of his deal, and he's been in a program with Dom.
Yeah.
So they just don't. And I always learn this from you. They don't focus on anything but the storylines above the line, as I like to call it. The bigger storylines. Everybody else is kind of fighting for the scraps. They're like the dogs under the table waiting for some food to drop off so they can eat too. Interesting. Smartest Mark alive. You've already won a T-shirt. I believe that you've already contacted producer, man. You're back in the running again this week for the Wheel of Doom. I released a video a month ago explaining why and how TKO are going to sell to the Saudis. The WrestleMania announcement all but confirms that now Saudi will own TKO by the end of 2027. God, I hope that doesn't happen, Vince. I just want them to buy WWE. I don't want them to buy all of TKO. Can you imagine? Can you think about this, Vince? As hard as it is to deal with the executives now, can you imagine them dealing with the Saudis? My God.
Coach, that's the thing. We sit here and, this is far-fetched and that's far-fetched and that's never going to happen. You guys got to understand one thing. We're talking about business, and all that matters in business is money. That's all that matters. Nobody has more money than the Saudis. It's that simple, Coach. Nobody's going to outbid the Saudis. So if the Saudis push this fortune to the middle of the table and TKO is in this for business, they don't say no. Like, they can't say
At
no.
all.
And there's nobody that's going to come along with a deal that's even close.
Let me throw some numbers out there for people that don't understand what me and Vince are talking about. So I work for the PGA Tour. Live Golf came along and they bought players. And they spent well over $1 billion. How can they do that and not get a return? Vince, there are at least 4 or 5 different funds that I know of that are open to spending money on sports and sports alone. Live Golf, NASCAR now has a race there. F1, Formula One Racing now has a race there. Cristiano Ronaldo, they signed him to $600 million over 3 years. $200 million a year because they love stars, and they love stars that come over to their place. All of the golf leagues, LPGA, Champions League, DP World Tour, they have events in Saudi Arabia. This would be the Shangri-La. This would be the biggest thing they could ever get because, Vince, they want people coming to their country to take on their sports, or at least to show their country in a light that's not, they're a bunch of murderers, which they're not. Well, we have issues in our country too. Clearly, it just happened 5 days ago. Right. But that's been the narrative for so long. But to me, this is strictly about what Smartest Mark Alive said, what you said, and what I believe. That this is a high-level game of moving the chess pieces for Vince, who needed to get out, get his money, TKO, who came in, and they said, you know what? We can be in debt for 5 or 7 years if we're guaranteed to get $15 billion. So, Vince, if you have 4 funds that have over $500 billion in it, does 15 even move the needle for them?
Yeah, that's incredible, Coach. When you lay all that out, I mean, that's incredible. And again, I just don't know how people in the industry are not talking about this, because is it just us, Coach, or this? To me, this is obvious. They've got an event there, 26, they've got an event there in 27. They're trying to eat away their debt with these ticket prices. Once they get that debt down and they're even Steven, and now all of a sudden we've got this money on the table over here and we can take this and laugh all the way to the bank. That's business, man. That's
101.
business.
101. It just happened. Paramount Plus just sold for $15 billion and paid the UFC $7 the minute they got it. Because they needed a live event sport. That was the only one on the table. So TKO benefited from being the only one on the table. I'm involved with PFL at ESPN. UFC just left ESPN to go to this $7 billion deal. I've been right in the middle of it. In the middle of it. Yeah. It's this is 101. This part I don't fault them for this, because this is a way to become solvent, I think that's the word, debt-free, and still own everything and do it in the next 5 years. I think this is as obvious, Vince, as anything as I've ever seen in this business.
And, another thing, Coach, we keep questioning, and, you got some good insight. We keep questioning, why hasn't Vince settled with Janelle Grant yet?
Yes.
And, the answer came back to you that, well, if he settles with her, that may open up the Pandora's box of everybody coming out of the woodwork. Mm-hmm. Well, no, maybe there's another answer to that. Maybe it's not time for him to settle with Janelle Grant yet. So maybe Vince is going to let this thing go until the time comes when these moves are ready to be made. And then if that lawsuit is still going on at that point, he writes the check, here you go, and it goes away.
This is the one not even a company. This is the one country that doesn't care about the lawsuit. Saudi Arabia doesn't care about it.
Yep.
And I know that sounds bad. It sounds harsh. That's the reality. Ladies and gentlemen, you got to understand I was in the room when Hulk Hogan was forced to come in and apologize to all of us. Why? So he could get a $2 million payday to go to the Saudi Arabia first show. That's a fact.
Yep.
It's not hearsay. That's a fact. I was in the room. These people do not care. They want stars. Somebody put out it was like a parody account, and they said it was like it was like matchups, and they said if Saudi was booking WrestleMania today, and it was like Hulk versus Macho Man, Rock versus Stone Cold, like all of these legends, because that's truly what they care about. Right. I told you there's an Undertaker exhibit over there. Yeah. Mike Tyson has a gym over there that Teddy Atlas goes over 4 times a year to train for a week. How much do you think Teddy Atlas is getting to go to Saudi Arabia 4 times a year to run that gym?
Incredible.
If you're in the right spot, I know of a journalist, I'm not going to say his name, that got offered $1 million to come over and work and do shows for a month. But because of his religion and the time of the year, he couldn't go and do that. $1 million. I know of another journalist who did a sit-down interview with the Turk, His Excellency. They were talking about different topics, all boxing, and Turki Al-Sheikh liked him so much, Vince, he sent him into a side room. I kid you not. I was told this by this person. He had a crew of 4 or 5 people. They walk in with a bag that had $85,000 in cash in the bag. And he just handed it out, the most to the talent, then to the camera guys. Can you imagine? He liked you so much. You were so professional. Here's 25.
Yeah, we got to get over there, Coach.
We got to get over there.
Do you have any connections over there? What are we doing, Coach? We got to get over there, Coach. Now, let's go.
I say
we'll get the bag. Get the bag.
All right, let's get back to the super stickers. Catman 580. Yes, sir. We're putting you on the wheel of doom. He says, put my name on the wheel of doom. I got a question for you both. Do you guys think the WWE will be doing more PLEs in Saudi Arabia in the future? Yes. Yep. Yes, I do. Vince, I had somebody ask me, Coach, why do you think it's $500 million? That seems like a lot. And I said, Nick Khan did a deal. Because think about this, Vince. Why did they go back to Vegas this year for 2 WrestleManias in a row? What's the reason?
The money.
How much do you think the company makes or generates for Vegas to get the deal they have to go back 2 years in a row?
Yeah. How much?
$400, $500 million at least. Easily that much. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of people coming to one city. So for WWE, and this is Nick Khan's. This is what Nick Khan would. This is an easy. I'll do the negotiation, Vince. This is easy. I walk into the room and say, "Listen, you want this show? We generate $500 million. The city gives us a kickback of 40%. That's $200 million on top of what we make as the company. So if you want this show, and we're going to forgive that or forego that, how much is it going to cost? $500 million. I could do it in 5 minutes, Vince.
Yeah. Wow. That's
5 minutes. 5 minutes. Jake Dies Again says Taker went to Super Bowl with Vince, correct, and to his party, yet he's standing by Triple H in the Saudi announcement. How does he not have heat with either side? It's a fascinating question. And I think he's walking on a tightrope, and I think he likes the $5 million he gets paid. I also think Triple H on some level, Vince, doesn't agree totally with TKO. That's what I believe. What do you think?
I don't believe any of those wrestling purists can agree with TKO. I don't believe any of them do. I mean, the way they're conducting business, some of the choices they're making, I definitely think they're on 2 different pages.
I saw one of those wrestling accounts did a poll on Twitter. asking about ticket prices.
Yep.
And 96% of those polled said way too high, way too high. And we had a lot of people that called in today, Vince, talking about WrestleMania. And I think a little bit fans are losing track of the fact that this is a worldwide thing now. The NFL does games in Europe. They just did a game in Brazil. This is not America's event. It's just a little shocking because of where they're going for the first one outside of North America. But this is the future, Vince, for all sports, not just the W. And fans got to get used to that. They do.
Yeah, and again, it's like, guys, again, I am not telling you not to buy tickets. I would never tell you that, man. It is your money. It is your hard-earned money. You're the ones earning that money. But, they have to understand, I don't care if the poll is 100%. The fans have to understand if they continue to sell out arenas, those are the price of tickets. The only way those tickets go down, if all of a sudden that full house is 3/4 full, is half full, okay, now we have to do something. Until that happens, I don't blame TKO one bit for squeezing out every single penny they can. I don't blame them, Coach. And the fans can bellyache, bitch, kveck, do all that stuff. They're the ones that have to stop paying the money. And if they don't, we're not going to see these things. Bro, it makes me laugh because I keep hearing this, Coach. Coach, this may be the most ridiculous thing out of all of this. TKO has said, once we pay our debt off, we're going to lower ticket prices. Do you guys know how insane that is? Do you know how ridiculous that is? So once they're at even, now they're going to lower the prices when they've been getting that amount that they're asking for X amount of years. You think they're just going to lower? That is insanity and is never going to happen.
Nobody goes backwards.
No.
Nobody goes backwards, especially when you're dealing with these guys. And they're high-level guys. They have been for a long time. I'll give them that. Yeah. I just think they bought the wrong company. I think they don't understand the wrestling business. And if they were owning the NFL, be all for it, because the NFL is not a spectator sport. Most people don't go to NFL games. They sit home and watch it on Sunday Ticket. That's what you do. So you can do whatever you want. This is a family sport. Vince, what you just said, by the way, that's already happening. WrestlePalooza is not sold out yet, and we're 5 days away. A lot of these shows, what you're not hearing at the top is Michael Cole saying, we are sold out.
Yeah.
Can't say it because they're not. I talked to somebody within the company, and he said, we haven't sold out very many shows in the last 2 months, except for overseas.
I got to ask Producer Man. I want to see, there was a Producer Man, there was a graphic with Triple H with a quote about how he tries to explain to his partners what professional wrestling is. And I want to see, Producer Man, if you can find the quote. And I'll tell you why, Coach. I don't know if you saw this quote or not.
I didn't.
Okay, because I'm sitting here, and here's where the WWE has the advantage. TKO does not understand professional wrestling.
Not even close.
Netflix does not understand professional wrestling. No. USA Network, believe it or not, and they've been in the game longer than everybody else, do not understand professional wrestling. So Triple H put out this quote, and he says, this is how I explain it to my partners. And Coach, I'm telling you, I was reading the quote. After I read Triple H's explanation, I didn't know what professional wrestling is. I kept trying. Producer Man, he said something about, we're not Rocky, where it was some ridiculous quote where I'm reading this and I'm like, if I am a network executive and you're explaining the WWE to me in these terms, I'm more lost than I was before.
If you're explaining wrestling to somebody that just spent $7 billion on your company after they bought it, that's an issue for me.
Yeah.
Here we
Okay,
go.
here it is, Coach. Coach, I'm going to read this to you.
All
So
right,
you
read this.
Yeah, so you can take this in and tell me if you're not more confused.
Okay.
I say this a lot of times when people don't understand, like if we're talking to network executives. So he's telling you right there the network executives don't understand. He's telling you that.
Okay.
Like if we're talking to network executives, they're trying to figure out what we are. I say we are less boxing and more Rocky. We're not the sport. We're a movie about the sport. And Rocky is really a love story. Just happens that boxing is background and metaphor for all things he has to overcome. Coach, here's what's really puzzling me, and I'm going to tap out to you. There would be a shred of credence to that explanation if they were telling stories. No, we're not the sport. We're Rocky. Bro, Rocky was chock full of stories. And for Triple H to make that statement, if we're talking about stories, that's one thing. Coach, there are no stories. All we're getting are the matches. So what do you make of that? I would love to, because I don't understand what the hell he's talking about.
I think that sometimes when he talks, he says things hoping people just their eyes glaze over. And you know how like you'll hear somebody and they'll like drift off in their mind and they come back 10 minutes later. That's what I think he was hoping this was. And you notice the show was on called Nightcap. There's several of these different shows. So basically it's a long form interview. And so this is probably part of a bigger statement. I was confused. And to me, so it's not boxing, it's more Rocky. Rocky was boxing. And then you said storylines. Yeah, there was a ton. He then said, we're more of the movie about the sport, but the sport is not a sport because it's predetermined. So you can't be a movie about something that's not a sport. Am I right?
I don't know.
Or did that confuse you too? Because I just confused myself. I just confused myself.
People may not believe this. Seriously, I really try to give Triple H and the WWE the benefit of the doubt. And how I can prove that is I really try to understand. When they make statements like this, I'm really trying to get in Triple H's head and I'm really trying to understand. But I'm reading that statement. I'm like, brother, I don't know what you're talking about. When did this thing become so complicated?
It's 101. I say it all the time. It's 101. It's 101. Wrestling is not complicated. Good guy, bad guy, conflict, stories. Let's go. And somewhere along the way, once they sold this, the storylines got lost in we've got to make as much money as fast as we possibly can. Yep. And I think that's where fans are seeing the disconnect now. Yep. Is they're like, man, I want to buy in to this heel. I want to buy in to Seth Rollins and his wife, Becky Lynch, being the power couple and leading every PLE for the next 6 months. I want to get into that. But wait. He hurt himself, and then he became a visionary. Then he was up in the crowd. CM Punk called him a cow. See, it doesn't make any sense. Then you got a match this week at the biggest WrestlePalooza show ever, because it's the only one. And you're starting on ESPN app, and you throw in a Cody Drew McIntyre match last week on SmackDown.
Not only that, Coach, listen, anybody that watches these shows, it is so obvious because we just got this. We got the finger point last week. Coach, think about this for a second. And, you know, Vince Russo doesn't know what he's talking about. No, Vince Russo knows exactly what he's talking about. Clearly and obviously, they're 100% behind Sami Zayn. Clearly and obviously, no question about it. He's the U.S. champion. He's going to win the Royal Rumble in Saudi. And I promise you at WrestleMania, he's going to become the champion. That's where they're going with Sami. Push, Sami. So, Coach, what happens? The Friday night before, Brock Lesnar hits the ring. Brock Lesnar hits Sami with an F5 and rolls him out of the ring like it was Gilbert. We come back the next week with an interview with Sami. Brock's in the building. No mention of what Brock did last week. No mention of the F5. Nothing. This is how you protect Sami Zayn? So my take as a casual fan is, brother, if you aren't looking for a receipt, if you aren't looking for revenge, then you're a pussy.
You got no balls.
This guy F5'd you last week, and you're not even going to mention it. And keep in mind, Coach, this is a babyface.
Completely.
This is a babyface. So if I'm writing this show and Sami gets hit with an F5, I am opening up the next SmackDown. He's sitting in a chair like this where all the talent comes in with a baseball bat. And he's just hitting that bat against his hand.
I love it. I love it.
How do you push a babyface and have him not address that whatsoever?
Well, because Vince, that would mean that he would have to show up and wrestle with taped ribs and oh wait, he just did that about
right. I forgot about
that. How about that? The other part is Brock's the one guy, maybe in the history of the business, maybe Andre, that if you take multiple ass whippings, it shows that you're tough. It doesn't show that you're less than. It doesn't show you're not a worthy champion, because he's the scariest human being that wrestling has ever seen.
That's right.
And I don't think it's close.
And having Sami go after him gets Sami over with me. Gets Sami over with me. But the fact that it's ignored, Brock's out there, Sami's nowhere in sight, that is not how you protect what you deem as a top talent, Coach.
How would you? Because to me, if I was the head of creative now, and we've seen the room and the whiteboards, how do you not, with your top guys, be in the room and write, okay, Sami, F5, Brock, draw an arrow, say this is where it has to go, so you don't drop the ball? Because I'd like to think it's not intentional. I'd like to think that. I just think that they have so many shows and so many guys are trying to figure it out. That's what I think. That's
it. They're trying to fill every time slot 7 times a week. And if they fill that time slot with content, it's a win. I mean, seriously, Coach, it's a win. My gosh, when SmackDown is over, there must be just such a sigh of relief. We just gave them another 2-hour show. What's next? That's how they're booking this thing. And if they continue to do this, you're never going to see any thought be put into anything that you're watching.
Yeah. All right. We've got a mid-carder. We've got a $20 super sticker. Joe Martin, DJ Kid, says, man, I used to hate Russo for taking WCW when he was a WWF writer. But now I give him nothing but respect.
Oh, that's very nice.
Keep up the good work, but it's still go Dodgers, baby. Go Dodgers. Oh, that's nice, Joe Martin. DJ Kid, Joe Litho.
I don't think, I got to tell you something, Joe. Forget about the Giants. Everybody knows I'm a Giant fan. Coach, I would bet the house the Dodgers are not winning the World Series this year.
They're not as good as they used to be. They're not. Nope. We had the over tonight, over 8.5. They're playing the Phillies at home, by the way.
Yeah.
If you want to get that money back, Vince. Travis King. Travis King says, y'all need more traction. Said, I've been popping in and out of streams for a couple of months, and y'all predicted a lot of the ins and the outs since they are building Sami to the Wrestlemania 43. I think he's giving us a compliment there.
Yeah, no, he definitely.
Yeah, it's to me. This is easy. Oh, main event. I got it. Yeah. This is not even hard. This is not something that I had to sit around and really kind of connect the dots on. These are big time players with big time money dealing with a endless amount of cash.
Yes,
it's a perfect storm for people who love money. A perfect storm.
Yeah,
you don't go anywhere else. Hitesh. Hey, Hitesh, what's good with you, man? I dare WWE to build 20-year-old Zilla Fatu, Obafemi, Breaker, Dom, Theory, do long-term TV, put them over Rock, Taker, Austin, etc. at WrestleMania 43 in Saudi. There's no doubt there's going to be legends at that WrestleMania. My question is, and I talked a little bit about this today on Off the Ropes on SiriusXM, Vince, that I know it's not their responsibility to think about TNA or the Indies or the hundreds of other talent that make money WrestleMania weekend, piggybacking off of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But there's no chance in hell that WrestleMania, Fan Fest, all these small shows are going to Saudi Arabia. So somebody needs to take the bull by the horns and do something here in the States, or there's going to be a lot of people that make $10, $20, $30, $40,000 every year and count on that money and no chance to have it now.
Coach, I got to tell you, you are making some unbelievable points today because, Coach, I didn't even think about that.
Really?
I didn't even think about that. And you are right. There is a built-in payday for a lot of companies and a lot of people around that WrestleMania weekend. I did not even think of that, Coach. There's a lot of people that count on that money. And wow, I did not even realize that. But you're right, Coach. Somebody needs to do. Is that AEW? Is AEW booked that day?
Absolutely. This is 18 months away. They're not booked yet. This
there
is not
you go.
26.
There you go. Yes.
Here, Tony Khan on a silver platter. Here you go.
Yes. Tony needs to put on a huge event here in the States on that day.
And you do it in Chicago on Saturday or Sunday. And then guess what you do on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday? All the indie companies around the country, they throw their swords down. They stop saying, well, this guy did it. And you work together.
Yes.
And you do a show every single night of the week in a smaller venue within that city. I think it would destroy. I think it would kill. I think it would give Tony Khan a ton of goodwill.
Yes.
And by then, maybe they'll smarten up and bring you and me in on Wednesdays.
Yeah,
because that could change things.
Yeah, Coach, I love that. I love what you just said. That is awesome.
Let's hopefully that happens. Smartest Mark alive. We love you down under. We love you. You're such a supporter. He says all the male top merch sellers at WWE are 40 plus. No doubt about it. Aside from Braun Breaker, he's 28. They have no next guy. AEW's roster has 5 guys at the top of the card under 35. Do you think this is an issue for WWE? 1,000%.
It's been an issue for a long time. Long time this has been an issue. A long time.
It's becoming an issue in several different ways, Vince. The match quality is not good right now. It's not. And I was talking about this with Mark Henry today, and they were talking about a Monday match or something. I said, because in the old days, what happened, Vince, if you advertised a match on pay-per-view or on Monday Night Raw? What did you see if you were at the live events on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday?
Well, yeah, I mean, you saw an angle build up to that big pay-per-view match, correct?
Well, if it was a Raw match, they would do the match at every house show.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So by the time they get to Monday Night Raw, the match is perfect.
Yep.
The match is, let's take this out. This didn't work. Let's do that there. Let's pull a ladder out there. They know what works. When you don't have any live events, you're going in cold. You're also going in where the gas tank is not where it needs to be. When you got a 46-year-old, based off of that text right there, in CM Punk, he just showed his cards at SummerSlam. He was gassed to the freaking gills in 5 minutes, but he had to go 35 because he was in the main event.
Yep.
You can't have a 5-minute main event, Vince.
Yep.
Not at SummerSlam, you can't.
And it's funny because, again, Coach is dead on, but the reality of it is none of that matters. Doesn't matter.
I hope it does.
It doesn't matter, man. It doesn't matter.
Tom Brady 12 says, who are your NFL teams? Do you value a Super Bowl more than NFL, AFL titles? Go Patriots. I'm a Chiefs fan, and I'm not going to sit here and complain, Vince, because I have 3 titles in the last 6 years. So I have more than most people get in a lifetime. So I'm not going to be one of those idiot fans who said, we stink, we suck. No, I'm happy. We stink right now. And by the way, Travis Kelce, you talk about falling off a cliff. We're talking about WWE superstars north of 40. Vince, he's almost 36. He is so slow compared to where he was. And I think a big reason, he's been gallivanting around the world with his boo thing. And she had, did you hear about this? Bulletproof.
I was just going to bring that up to you. Yes.
All these celebrities are going to have to start. It's such a sad thing,
It's
but
crazy,
necessary.
man.
Crazy.
It's crazy. The fact, listen, I am not by any stretch of the imagination a Taylor Swift fan, but the fact that she has to worry about that, You know what I'm saying, Coach? Can't go to a football game and sit in a box and watch my fiance. They gotta pull in a bulletproof petition. That's ridiculous.
Ridiculous. Absolutely crazy. Let's see. Producer, and what do you mean by the podcast that you wrote to me? I want to make sure that I don't miss something here. We have another one. Roland Curtis off Vermont says, is WWE bigger than ESPN? The ESPN YouTube channels. Triple H, that was on Shannon Sharp's podcast. Got it. That Nightcap is his podcast with the former wide receiver from the Cincinnati Bengals. It's a pretty funny show, actually. But it's Shannon Sharp and Chad Ochocinco. Yeah, Chad Ochocinco. All right, so the ESPN YouTube channel has 14 million subs. ESPN 14 million, NBA 23, NHL 2, MLB 7, NFL 15 combined has only 61 million subs. WWE alone has 110 million subscribers. Roland, there's the entire reason why WWE just put AAA on their YouTube channel. That is bigger than ESPN, the network, not their YouTube channel. The network has 80 million subscribers. Vince, the YouTube channel has 110. 30 million more than have ESPN on TV right now. So it makes sense for them to put shows on their own YouTube channel because you get paid by the view.
Right.
On YouTube.
Yep.
So if you get 100 million, that's why they brag all the time, 130 million views. And they throw it up on YouTube so they can get paid on those views, not on Twitter, not on IG. That's important, but YouTube is where the money is.
And again, that's the people there in business with the partners, allowing them to negotiate that in their contracts. And what's happening? Nobody's watching these shows in their entirety anymore. Everybody's going to YouTube to watch the clips. The partners allowed that. USA Network allowed that. Netflix allowed that. There could have been something in the contract that says you cannot show footage from this show on another outlet for 2 days or 3 days or a week. They put it up there immediately. So there's no reason to watch these shows.
You know, Vince, you and I used to battle back and forth behind the scenes, and we would argue a little bit about you watching the clips and me spending the time watching the whole shows. But alas, I have come to your side because I don't know if you saw it, but NBA Commissioner Adam Silver, in a live press conference the other day, they asked him, a reporter says, hey, Adam, how do you feel about the fact that starting with your new TV deal this year, I don't know if you've seen all the commercials, but it's coming back to NBC. It left TNT, Charles Barkley and them going to ESPN. And the reason it got to the billions is Amazon is now a player in the NBA game. What do you think the good old commish said to that reporter?
Go ahead. I can't wait to hear it.
He said, hey, the NBA is a highlight sport. You can just go watch it all on social media. That's why it's there. And in that moment, I could hear every executive for ESPN, NBC, Amazon going, what? What did he just say? He told his fan base, don't worry about it. What he's talking about is dunks and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. But that's usually the best part of the game.
Yeah, exactly.
In November on a Tuesday, am I going to sit and watch the Clippers and the Lakers, or I'm going to go to a highlight and go, damn, LeBron had 43. I just saw 20 of them in 25 seconds.
Coach, I am going to, I said this on the last show, but right after this show, I'm going to write an email. I'm going to try to get a former TV executive on this show to ask them these questions that we ask all the time. I would love to hear from somebody on the inside that was in the industry for a very long time and will know how, like USA, Netflix, ESPN are looking at these numbers.
I thought about this the last few days, and my gut tells me that what we will find out when we bring that person on is that they're going to tell us, maybe not directly, but they're going to tell us, listen, guys, we wanted the WWE. We had to sign whatever they wanted us to sign. Yeah. Or else they were going to go down the street to the next guy. Yeah. And I think ultimately that's what happened because you can't have all these Vince. ESPN's smart, and we're going to know a lot Saturday night. We're going to know a lot because if they show highlights from WrestlePalooza on a night when ESPN is going to be hard selling the hell out of that $30 app. They ain't going to be happy about that.
And I hope they don't. I really hope they don't. For ESPN's sake, I hope they don't, because they're going to go down this same exact road that Netflix is going down right now.
So we're 8 months in, almost 9 months into the Netflix deal. There's no question the bloom is off the rose. And I'm quite certain that they're probably a little ticked at themselves because they signed a 10-year deal. The only league that I know of that's done a 10-year deal is the NFL. NBA, I think, is 8. But 10 years, Vince, is a long time to spend $500 million a year.
Yeah.
Especially if the numbers fall off like they've fallen off right now. You do a little bit of research, and you know what you're going to come in at after the fall off. And it's almost like Netflix said, you know what? We got so much money, it doesn't matter.
But, Coach, don't you believe at that level, because this was clearly the case with the WWE and talent contracts, don't you think at that level there would have to be loopholes after every year?
1,000%. Maybe not. No, not after every year.
Well, maybe 3. Yeah,
maybe 3.
There has to be loopholes in those contracts, because if a deal goes totally sour, somebody can't be hanging around for 10 years.
That's the thing. And what I would do is I would make them hit markers. I'd be like, it's got to be here.
Absolutely.
We're talking worldwide, because right now SmackDown worldwide is like $3 million a week, $2 million a week. They had domestically 1.1 million 2 weeks ago. Then they had the Cena night with Brock, and that had 1.5.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're talking worldwide, that's a completely different number.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking billions of people around the world that get Netflix now. And you can't get more than 3 million. To me, the focus is so off. It should be focused on the show, on the storylines, on the superstars. And I guarantee you, the superstars, part of the reason they look miserable in that picture is this is what's happening with UFC as well, is they say we get this big deal, right? We get billions of dollars. The first thing, if I was anybody that got a $7 billion deal, I'd be like, man, I can't wait to share this with the fighters or the wrestlers and the talent. The reason for this money. It's almost like they're not giving credit to the reason why these places are willing to pay all this money. And it's not the executives. It's not Nick Khan. It's Roman Reigns. It's Roman Reigns. And I'm kidding. It's Cody Rhodes. It's all these stars, because without them in the building, this is why the NFL now does a revenue share. I wish they did a revenue share. This is why Dak Prescott, Roman Reigns is Dak Prescott. Dak makes $60 million a year.
Yeah.
Because of how much money the league brings in.
You know
WWE
what?
should do the same thing.
Coach, this always goes back to our boy Jesse Ventura, man. As long as these guys will never be able to get on the same page to form a union, it's on them. It's on them, period. End of story. Because I've said this all along. Coach, can you imagine? We're ready for the big show in Saudi. We're ready to go to Wrestlemania, bro, 2007. And all of a sudden, 2 hours before showtime, the Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes say, Trips, Mr. Shapiro, Ari, the talent would like to hold a meeting with you. And can you imagine if they pulled everybody in that room and said, guys, listen, they take the whiteboard from the conference room. Guys, we know the show's in 2 hours, but unless we get A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, it really ain't going to be a show tonight. They don't understand the power that they have. But again, Coach, there's always that one guy that's going to hold out and kiss corporate ass and snitch on them and not allow that to happen. So when it comes to that, I blame the talent. The fact that they don't have a union in 2025 is absolute. With this type of money we're talking about, Coach, come on.
That I would tell you this, that if I was one of the top 3 guys, Roman, Cody, who else could do it? Maybe those two.
Sami. Let's just say Cody, Roman, and Sami.
Right. Let's say, Okay, we'll say those three.
Okay.
If they did that, TKO would have no choice because all of these. Can you imagine going to ESPN and saying, "Hey, yeah, we lost a few top guys, but wait a second, we got El Americano across from Dirty Dom.
Yeah, we got Bailey. Bailey's two characters now.
Yeah,
Bailey's got a that counts as two. Yes,
both of her personalities can show up. I mean, Vince, they just like the UFC fighters that just won the big lawsuit. They could have gotten more, but Vince, this is a no-brainer.
Absolutely.
But only a couple of guys have FU money, and that's the problem. Is that if you don't have FU money, you're scared to death. Man, I'm making $700, and that's a lot of money for me. I don't want to lose that. But they wouldn't, Vince, if they all banded together and say, because these companies know they can't walk into ESPN, Netflix, USA. And with all due respect to the C&D talent, let's be honest.
Yep.
If all the main eventers sit out, the Drew McIntyres, the Randy Ortons, all those guys say peace, that deal would get done real freaking quick. Real quick. So I think we've hit all the super stickers today. What a good show. And shockingly, we didn't talk about one segment on Monday Night Raw or on SmackDown. So that means it was a perfect show for us.
We did, though. Let's just real quick, the Andrade deal, just to stay on top of things. Yeah, just to stay on top of things.
Andrade, who recently got divorced from Charlotte Flair, came back to the company. He just got released, and word is that he was suspended, Vince, for violating the wellness policy, which means it was using something that was either not like weed's allowed. I was there when it started, and it's either steroids or it's something else. I have no idea what, but that was the report. And then that he didn't show up to a couple of shows. So it's interesting. He's had such a fascinating ride the last few years, and the relationship with Charlotte put him into the spotlight. Then that fizzled out. It's just an interesting story. I never like to see anybody get cut, but it sounds like he kind of maybe deserved it.
Yeah, and also too, though, Coach, he is a legitimate talent. He is, he is a wrestler. He looks like a wrestler. He's a legitimate talent. But yeah, man. So, but again, man, if wellness, come on, man. When I look at some of those guys on Mondays and Fridays, I don't think he'd be the only one to fail a test. I'm just going to say that.
No, it was weird when I was in the room. This is 2007. 2008 when they started it, and I'll never forget, Vince. You want to talk about a room terrified of a bald white dude walking in a suit that weighs about 150 pounds. You saw it in the room because we knew it was coming. Yeah. We knew what was coming. And originally, weed was on the list of banned substances, and everybody led by RVD said, if I can't smoke my weed, I'm done anyway. And so they quickly took weed off, which they should have. Yeah. But they gave everybody 30 days. And opiates was the biggest issue. And I had some smaller issues with opiates, nothing like some of the guys did. But when you're talking however many a day, there was a range from like 10, Vince, like for me, to 80 for some other guys. Wow. And think about the math, Vince. We're talking $3 to $4 per pill. So if you're taking 60 to 80, you're talking a minimum $200 a day. Minimum. Times 30 days a month. How much is that? Well, do the math. That's $6,000 a month on pills going down your throat.
Yeah.
And eventually it's just to maintain. It's not even to get a high anymore. So you're spending $6,000. What's that? That's almost $100,000, $75,000 on pills a year. Some guys were spending that.
Yeah.
Some guys were spending that. It was brutal. Best thing that ever happened to me. I got 4 months off. I'm still grateful, even though they don't know that they did it. And I had 4 months to not work between WWE and ESPN. So my small little problem, if you want to call it that, I sent my wife, daughter away, and I did it the hard way. I sat on that couch for 2 weeks, and it was brutal.
I can't imagine that, Coach. Good for you, man. But I can't imagine. I can't imagine that.
Oh, it was brutal. But I haven't had a painkiller since 2008.
Good for you.
So 17 years, but they are addicting as hell. Addicting as hell.
Can you explain that, Coach? Like in what aspect are they? I mean, I've never taken one in my life, so I don't have an idea. So fill me in on that.
Yeah, so the ones I took were from Mexico because there was a hookup in LA who a lot of the guys that lived in LA, he had a business going. So I'm not going to tell you the wrestler's name,
Yeah.
but I went out and I did a match and I came back and I felt like I had cracked a rib. And so this wrestler was like, "Hey, coach, try a couple of these." And I still see it in my mind. They're coming through the air like in slow motion. I'm like
Yeah.
catching them. And I didn't think twice about it because when you hear the word Vicodin, you go, "Oh, I could have got that from my doctor. No big deal, right?" And so I pop them, and I'm telling you, Vince, in about 3 minutes, you feel so good that you're like, "Give me more. Give me more." And
But are you talking head-wise, body-wise? What's that
yeah,
good feeling? Everything. Everything.
yes,
Like
everything.
euphoria almost. Wow.
It's a euphoria. It's
Wow.
a man, and I got to the point where I'd put like 3 or 4 on the nightstand, and with a cup of water. And before I'd get out of bed in the morning, I'd pop the 4. So that's literally $12 to $14 before my feet would hit
Wow.
the floor.
Coach. Wow.
Yes, some guys would take 5, 10, 15 in the morning. Just and so, but it gets to the point where you're no longer high. And now you're just, I got to get through the day. And your body goes through these withdrawals. Cause I tried several times. I just won't take one today. And if you have them on you, Vince, the draw to go get them out of your bag is so intense
Yeah, I
that
can
you get to
imagine,
the point where
man.
you're like, oh, the aches and the pains and but thank God I
Yeah.
had those 4 months because since then, all good.
Good for
And,
you, man. That's
but,
awesome. Good for
so
you.
it's really but some guys were taking so many that they were missing interviews, radio interviews. That became an issue
Yeah,
because they couldn't get out of bed.
I think Kurt has spoken about taking 60 a day.
All right, since you brought that up, I was sitting on a plane next to him one day and he came on and this was towards the end. He got let go because he had one radio interview where he went on the air and they taped it and played it back. And he was incredibly incoherent. And then another one, same thing. And Vince gave him a pass on the first one, but he's like, you gotta get clean. And I just saw a video the other day of him telling that story on Stephanie
Yeah.
and this was I sat on the plane next to him as he was going to this meeting with
Yeah.
Vince, where he's like, you got to let me go. If
Or
you
else
don't
I'm
let me
gonna,
go, I'm
or
gonna
else I'm
die.
gonna die. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he would
Yeah.
have. So I'm sitting on the plane, and he's like, almost knocked out, but still talking, and was telling me 60 to 80 a day. And when you're doing it, you had like a buddy, and your buddy, if you run out because we ordered from the guy in LA, you would go to your buddy because you didn't want anybody to know. You were ashamed,
Yeah.
and you're like, I don't, I don't take these. So many guys took those.
So, Coach, let me ask you this because this is what I assumed it was, but but again, I'm not schooled on any of this because knock on wood, I was never in that situation. He comes over to TNA. I'm the first one producing him, me.
Okay.
So he winds up doing this sit down interview. Coach, the whole interview, and it was like 30 minutes. So was that him going through withdrawal, trying to get off the shit?
1,000%.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah,
man.
because he's shaking because he needed some, but he probably in his mind, a lot of guys would plan out the day, and you say, okay, I need to get from 3 o'clock to 11 o'clock without anybody knowing. So you load up in the morning, and then when you get to the arena, you go, okay, I can deal with this. I still have it in my system, and by the time you get to a certain time of the day, now you're doing this, and you need another 2 or 3. Yeah, it's that's exactly what it is because your body craves it because of whatever drug is in the. It's why they're so popular. It's why they're pain meds.
Yeah,
That's why they're. It was an awful time, and I wasn't even that bad. I mean, I probably was, but compared to the guys that I knew,
oh yeah,
it was brutal. But it will knock you out. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
A few more super stickers. I knew this would happen to all of you out there. I was getting ready to say goodbye. I've got an NFL show in 30 minutes, but we'll get through these. I promise you. Society Review says, mark my words, the Saudis will purchase TKO before WrestleMania 43. And when the Saudis buy WWE, Vince McMahon will be back in charge over Triple H. I don't know why everybody thinks they're going to buy TKO. TKO runs a lot of companies. They have Pro Bull Riding. They have UFC. the Saudis don't want all of that.
Yeah.
They want the WWE.
The
That's
Saudis,
cash
they
cow.
don't want bull riding over there. The Saudis.
I don't believe so. I don't believe so. But yeah, stop with the nonsense of TKO bought this because, and if we're wrong, we're wrong. Guess what? We can be.
Yeah.
But I think they got into a room and said, and Vince was like, "Let me lay this out. This can't be that crazy."
Yep.
And they laid it all out. And this is the move.
Yeah.
This is the move. Vince brought in Nick Khan. Like, connect the dots.
These are the real quick. I mean, Coach, people need to understand these are the smartest business people in the world. They need to understand that.
Mark Shapiro used to run ESPN.
Yeah.
To give you an idea, he ran ESPN.
Yes.
And now he's the president of TKO.
Yes.
Ari Emanuel, who is the CEO, just pocketed $120 million from another sale of another thing that he's doing. Right in his back pocket, $120 million to him. Johnny Karate. How does it feel to be a man of faith that watches a product that only cares about money and no longer favors giving an affordable family experience? Interesting question. I'm also a man of faith. My dad's a United Methodist pastor. I actually went to church yesterday with my daughter. Nice. It was really powerful because a lot of it was on the Charlie Kirk stuff. And, but I go to church almost every single Sunday morning that I can. It's funny because Vince, I used to deal with this with my mother. My dad's a minister. He used to go on the road with me all the time, and he was cool with it. He's like, "This is how you make your living." Okay. My mother watched one time, and it just happened to be the time that The Rock, like we come from a family of farmers on my mom's side. Rock teased me about doing things with a cow, and my mother saw that. How do you think that went over?
Well, it's better than the one if she would have saw you in the tea back. Can you imagine that, Coach? If that was the one she would have saw, oh my God!
My baby buns are out there with green paint on them. Oh, I've gotten that one picture sent to me more than anything else.
Oh, that's the best.
My buns out of the wall. Oh,
that's the best.
Oh my gosh! Yes. Good thing I was in shape back then. Hitesh is back. He says WrestleMania will flow between Saudi and Vegas for years to come. I think The Rock gets offered $100 million for Saudi for Mania. You best believe they're going to pay somebody a lot of money to come over there. They believe, Vince, they truly believe that the legends still tick boxes.
They're talking about Austin. I mean, that's been, in the headlines the last couple of weeks. Austin actually going there and doing a match. Or, Steve's 62, man.
Oh, he looks it too. I just saw him on Instagram. Did I tell you he's a cat person?
Yeah, you did. You did, yeah.
It blew me away, and I love Steve. We've had some great conversations. I think of women as cat people.
Yeah.
I don't think of men as cat people.
Yeah.
We're dog men.
Stevie Richards, a big cat person, man.
Now, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
That doesn't surprise me. I got my beautiful buddy sitting right here next to me. You never hear him. He never does anything. I can scream as loud as I want. You want to see Buddy for a second?
Yeah, let's see. Let's see, Buddy. Yeah, let's see, Buddy.
Come here. Oh, he's down here the whole time.
Oh, look at that beauty,
Buddy,
huh?
Look at that.
Oh, beautiful. I love dogs, man. Look at that.
Oh, it's my guy. It's my guy. That's my guy. 10 years. He never barks. I've heard him bark maybe.
Oh, man.
1 to 2 times. This is my guy right here.
10 years old.
10 years old. 10 years old.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Coach.
love
that
guy.
Awesome.
Yeah, he always sits down here. Just sits here all day.
Yeah.
Sits here all day. He's the happiest camper ever. Happiest camper. All right, a couple more we got to get to. Then we got to get the hell out of Dodge. You guys are amazing. That's why these shows go so freaking long, because of all of you. Roland says Rolling Stone didn't rank Logan Paul as a top 25 influencer. Do you think that Logan has no plans to be WWE champ and main event Mania? Wouldn't Sami be the logical choice to drop the world title to Logan Paul? Understand this, guys. Logan Paul doesn't plan for that. TKO and WWE plan it for him. Now, does he have a little more stroke than other people, Vince? I would say yes. Yeah. Because he has other business interests within the WWE. Yeah. And you see it every week. Prime Bottle is everywhere.
Yeah. So, I'm surprised about him no longer being a top 25 influencer, but I would think that rolls over all the time, Coach. I would think that there's always somebody new on the block,
Well, because now he has shifted to. What he has shifted to is podcasting and
Yeah.
being a talent in the WWE.
Yeah.
Influencers just make videos all day long.
Yeah.
And that's what he used to do.
Yeah.
But you have to go out and shoot. You have to edit the video, and it has to be entertaining. I think he realized that's hard work. Being
Yeah.
an influencer is really hard work unless you're on OnlyFans.
Yeah.
And then you just got to be attractive.
Yeah.
And sometimes not even then.
Yeah.
But for Logan Paul, he realized I'll get into business. His podcast, I keep telling you, Vince, that deal's got to be $100 million.
Yeah.
The Kelce's got $100 million, and Logan Paul is more popular than the Kelce's.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they got $100 million. I guarantee you, fanatics in WWE paid him $100 million.
Yeah.
Or they will. They will. Good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also, he's a natural. He's a natural. If anybody backstage is bitching about Logan Paul, go get in the gym. He's in great shape.
Yep.
He never gasses out.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen him tired?
Nope.
No.
Nope. Yeah. Yeah.
Because he works in the gym. He works in the gym. All right, Vince, I got 2 NFL Monday night games tonight. All right?
Yeah.
We have a little show on the other side of the fence, as I like to call it, Coach and Company World. You don't show up there very much. Every now and then you'll come over to our side of the fence. But we have 2, and I've got to go get ready. We're on in 25 minutes.
Go do it. Go do your thing, Coach.
If anybody's in the chat and you guys want to watch a full breakdown of 2 NFL games, we have one more. WWE's too corporate to ever be great again. AEW could match old school wrestling, but Tony Khan won't ditch the indie mindset, which holds him back 1,000%.
Yeah, we've got a lot of smart listeners, man. We really do.
And I guarantee a lot of them are talking to other people and they're showing up. We have so many new names in the chat. We want to welcome all of you. Thank you. This is where you come to get smarter. We love being interactive. And the one thing you're not going to get from us is bullshit. That's for damn sure. All right, Vince, well done. I'll see you Thursday.
Yep.
Live on Stadium, Prime Video, DirecTV, YouTube TV. We're everywhere.
Yep.
We're everywhere. All right, everybody, if you miss any of this show, you can always catch it on demand at our Behind the Turnbuckle YouTube page. That'll do it for now. For Vince Russo from russosbrand.com, producer man behind the scenes, Dirt Sheet Dan, I am the coach. We'll see you Thursday live bright and early, right after Coach and Company. It's 11 a.m. Eastern time. It's the Coach and Bro Show. Have a great night. Enjoy the games. We'll see you on Thursday.